If it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Leontine Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera. And sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.
Happy New Year. This is our very first episode of 2026. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, students. Welcome back, all the listeners here at Student Voices Podcast. And I hope everyone had a awesome break. Sorry it took us so long to get this podcast out, but hey, better late than never. And we have some very special people here, as always, and also we have a new add-on addition to the team. Couple of add-ons for today and for the future. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
My name is Tyra. Y'all know me. I'm in 8th grade. Yeah, that's it. I'm leaving now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's me, Leandri, your co-host, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, she's co-host with. Yeah, you are the co-host. Woohoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
How are I the only one late to this?
And if you don't move up to the mic, please state your name and your affiliation.
Hey. Hi, I'm Tamara Henley. What else do I say?
I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Today is a special day, and because it's Friday, January 16th, and on Monday we are out of school, and it is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of celebration. Before we started, we heard an exhort speech from Dr. Martin Luther King, and a lot of people just believe that Dr. Martin Luther King just did, I have a dream speech. And so we just want to come on and just kind of have a discussion about what do you think Martin Luther King Jr. stands for today as young people. Also, I know that's a lot in that question, because when we're in school, we learn about, the civil rights movement, and we learn about Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and what they did for the civil rights movement. But in 2026, what does that look like today? It's one of the things you have to kind of think about, because I think a lot of people don't understand that today's time is different than the 60s and the 70s. And even when I was growing up, it was different. But from my parents' standpoint, they the ones that had to go through it. So at your age, as you're looking at society and how things are going on in the world, does Dr. Martin Luther King, does he still have the same impact?
Maybe not the same impact, because there's like other stuff going around, not even just about civil rights or racism or anything like that. And it seems like everybody else is just caught up on all the other stuff. Like, you heard about the stuff with the Antarctica?
War.
Yeah, what's going on in war?
The ice glacier.
The ozone layer.
Okay, like climate change and how things are changing
It's causing
globally,
life.
I guess, so to speak. But I guess when you look at the civil rights movement, and I think sometimes I wonder, are we so removed from the civil rights movement for the impact that it really did, for what Dr. King really stood for, for peace and equality. And if you look at the day society, just like Tyra just said, wars. Like, what would you speak on that?
The still ongoing war from like 2023 between Russia and Ukraine, and the same thing with Israel and the Hamas. I would probably say those subjects, if like going over the war and all that. Of wars, really.
I feel like most people would take it as just a history thing, but they still kind of don't understand the impact it had for the civil rights of people.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah.
Also, along with like the government and his decisions that he wants to make
Mm.
with like the borders and sending a lot of South Americans back.
Yeah. So I guess when we're looking at, I guess, so civil rights movement looks different now than more just black people getting civil rights. It's more of a immigration. What the world is going to look like when you get in your 20s and 30s and 40s. I guess you have to kind of look at it from that standpoint. I guess things like when we look at, like, from my generation, when we was taught about civil rights, and my parents, they lived through civil rights. And so we have a second hand look of my parents telling us what happened when they was kids. But we didn't have to go through that when I was, so when we look at injustices such as, I guess, George Floyd, and other things that came about, our generation looking at civil rights in a totally different lens than when Dr. Martin Luther King was alive and everything that was going on. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So so what so what would you say to your generation now about what civil rights would look like for you?
Probably that it focuses on more areas of injustice, like in the LGBTQ community, and a lot of other things, like also as well immigrants, and it covers more races, as racism impacts many other races as well.
When you said injustices, the first thing that came to my mind was the whole thing with ICE
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
and like how they're doing all this stuff to deport people out of the country. I'm not sure what they think that's doing, but it's not really doing anything. It's just causing more problems
Yeah.
for the people because they're like trying to stand up to it. So it just causes more headaches for people.
And I think a lot of people, when you think about Dr. Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement, I think a lot of people do not understand that was the civil rights movement, is standing up for people who really don't have a voice, making sure everyone in this country has a voice, everyone has the same, rights as a human being, basically. And basically just being a human being, just having rights as a human being. And as we look at history, we see that time and time again, we have individuals who's like, say, hey, I see something that's wrong. I'm going to speak out against it and not be afraid of what happens. Because if you look at the news, do you think that people are really talking about it for real, or are they actually getting real answers on why something has happened and what's the real reason?
Most of the time, not really.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do y'all ever have conversations at home about what's going on, or just kind of like,
Rarely.
Yes. More
Rarely.
times than they just, they always have conversations like that about what's going on in the world and how it may affect the growing population.
To really be honest, it's just hating on the president.
Yeah.
Just pointing out things that he shouldn't even been inaugurated for, like based off his past term
Mhm.
and all the stuff he did before that and all the stuff he's doing now
Yeah.
and the reason why he should be impeached. They just talk about like the president a lot.
So as we move into, I know on Monday, on Martin Luther King's Day, they called it a day of serving. Like, what would you like to do to celebrate or his legacy?
Well, I probably do what I'm doing this Monday. I'm probably gonna go to like the Civil Rights Museum
Yep.
downtown to like
Mhm.
learn more about it on that day. Yeah, 'cause you can never have too much knowledge of something, right?
That's true.
See, I'm like, with all the problems going on with the world, people say they want to do something about it, but when they actually get the chance to, there's like barely any people participating to try to help it. Like, I'm not saying by just like protesting or anything, like donating, helping a community, investing in stuff that could help the community grow and be better.
You know what? I have that same thought also. Sometimes you actually wonder, do people actually get out and really help? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a difference between say, hey, we're gonna celebrate Martin Luther King's legacy, but his legacy is more than just one day.
Not much unless it's for clout.
Yeah.
Like for influencers, they just want to celebrate it for clout and stuff.
So you think people just gonna go out and do something, take a whole bunch of videos and pictures and just paste on social media?
Sometimes
Yeah.
some people
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
for that reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing sometimes when people go and do something like, hey, look at me, see what I'm doing.
Yes, and then right after they stop recording, they go back inside and probably watch something.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go out and do something, keep your phone in your pocket. Don't take a picture. Don't do a video. Just do it just because it's just a good
Put a
thing
lock
to
on
do.
your phone.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that right there should be a motto. Do it just to do it. You know, you don't have to take a picture or video of you're doing a good deed or just being.
Live in the moment.
That's it. Live in the moment. You know, because I think it has a better impact than say, hey, let's take this picture. Everybody get together. And I'm like, I'm working. Now we got to take this picture. We got to put it on Facebook and show people what we did today. And are y'all going to come back tomorrow? Nah, we'll see you next week. see you next year.
See you next year.
Next decade.
Yeah. And I think that's, so when we talk, and I think that brings us back to this, the legacy in social media era. I think that's the big thing that I don't think people really talk about, you know, the legacy of Dr. King in the social media area. How is that impacting the youth? How does that impact the young people? Is it even impacting? Because if you see a famous rapper, anybody doing something, do you think it's really encourage people to go out and do it? No.
Unless it's like most rappers I hear, they usually talk about like
Guns,
from what I remember,
violence.
guns, vulgar words,
Yeah.
and they usually involve kids in it too. That's kind of bad.
And other people.
When it comes to social media, I don't think it's really moving the needle. Depends on who the artist is, I guess. But I guess that's something that we have to kind of discuss. So if you would have any advice for people for Monday, what would you have for them to do? Be anybody your age or anybody that's your parent, parents or anybody just listening, what would you tell them to do for Monday for Dr. Martin Luther King celebration? What would you encourage them to do?
Celebrate who saved you.
Yeah. Or probably like if you want to learn more about on the topic, find a 5-10 minute video on YouTube like recapping what he did, or like autobiography. I think no, it was a biography or autobiography. I think it was biography.
Yeah.
Or if you want
biography.
more of like a physical view, you live like in one of the states that had like the biggest
The
civil rights problem.
So
Another thing you can do, you can go down and visit that park that talks all about civil rights if you actually want to do celebrating, just get out more.
yeah, down 16th Street, Baptist Church and Lynn
You
Park.
can
Yeah.
like I remember there's like it's on the street. There's like it's a motel for civil rights. I
A.G.
just forgot
Gaston.
what street
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
the A.G. Gaston. It's a museum now.
A museum
Mm-hmm.
and like museum.
We hope everyone gets out this weekend and on Monday. Let's celebrate Dr. King's legacy and what he brought to our city in Birmingham, because it all started here in Birmingham. A lot of people don't understand that with the boycotts, and it started with young people. The civil rights movement started with young people, and so we have to remember that our legacy are young. Our legacy are youth. And so we just want to say, let's get out and do something for somebody else and leave your cameras at home. All right, leave your phones off. Keep your phones, but
Yes.
you
still have parents. You still have location.
Yes.
You still have this world that gets more crazy every hour.
Yes. So let's go out and do something for somebody, and let's leave social media alone for that day. All right, thank you, ladies, so much, and we will next time on our next podcast. We're gonna talk about something special that I have y'all two ladies did, because y'all started a debate. Y'all on the debate team, and
Oh man,
yeah, I'm excited about that. So we'll have y'all coach Mr. Badu on, and thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back.